All right.
I got everything open.
Perfect. Welcome to Oath of Endosteel, episode 4, 3028, part 7. We need to fill you in on a couple of things that happened just before the show. One, we will not be switching away from Mechwarrior Destiny. 2, Sam, as Lachlan McDougall, has bought a Shrek and an LRM carrier, which he can crew with almost all of his people.
Nice.
Anything else we need to cover
LRM
before we jump in here?
I don't see a Shrek PPC carrier on the technical readout for 3025. I want to know how he got this.
That's what? It's
not there. It's not there. It's not in our vehicles, dude.
I'll find it.
I just bought the thing AP told me I could buy.
Well, I want one. I want one too.
Hey,
I'm literally piloting an awesome in the finale of A Time of Total War. Like, give me PPCs.
I'm pretty sure it costs 6 XP, so you can buy it.
Oh, sorry.
4.
Actually, Sam, it does say that it's not available again until 3039.
No. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll find you another assault tank.
we'll do that offline.
Yeah. We start
Rommels.
today
Rommel claps.
with the smell of perfume, Lachlan McDougall. You are alerted to the fact that Rosamund is probably in the next room, waiting right at the door. You can hear her whispering to somebody. And then in a nice little white dress, your daughter Celeste comes into the room and gives you a very clumsy curtsy and says, "Good morning, Father," in probably the clearest she's ever spoken the English language.
Excellent. Lachlan is very proud, and I think like right away he'll like respond in some kind of like courtly manner type way, like the appropriate way that he's been trying to teach Celeste. But then like as soon as he's done with that like kind of breaks, and he just like runs to like pick her up and give her a hug and say like a proper hi.
Yeah, she endures what I'm assuming is a hug.
Sure.
Yeah, she endures it. And
Excellent.
and then she leaves the room with her mom, who briefly shows, we just get her hand like taking Celeste's hand and walking away. At that time, the TV behind you in your office it's on, like local news gossip, and we hear the commentator go, "And just why was the 4th season of Pride and Royals pushed 6 months ahead in the production schedule to have this 2 different seasons in the same year? Local celebrity gossip is calling on the numerous facts," and then we get like this is a breaking news report with James Jives. And James is like doing hand cam, and he's like, "I'm here now at the Lachlan McDougall's spaceport, right outside the administrative building, where we can see that Reverend Dr. Nakwabe Tosh is denouncing everyone on this planet." And then like it goes like a zoom in, and the Reverend Doctor is just like, "We must stand against the oppression of these mercenaries who have come to our planet. Lachlan McDougall and others, those who are bent on war, have taken us to the brink. These mercenaries, they could be welcome neighbors, but instead, they choose to park their military equipment in unregistered warehouses. They fight the people in our streets. Murder rate in the capital is up 3% this month. 3%. Our people are oppressed by these mercenaries. They are dying, and Lachlan McDougall and the other barons who supported this are allowing it to get out of way. I call upon Lachlan McDougall to answer for this and to explain what we can do to make the situation better. In the name of the unfinished book, I hope that God or divinity will change his heart and bring him here to have a discussion among the people. For he has spent too long in his ivory tower." And everyone's like, "Ooh, what a great metaphor, because the space station is named Ivory Tower." Yeah, and then he begins quoting unfinished book scripture, which is like, it's going to be like really common phrases from the Bible and the Torah, and like every major religious book is included in the unfinished book. So yeah, he's just doing like really soothing platitudes to the crowd after building them up.
I like how I'm getting the blame. I didn't even want the mercenaries. This was all freaking.
I know, but now so here's the problem.
Lafayette and Jana.
Yeah, this is the problem. The mercenaries house themselves at the spaceport because that's where they come down. So they keep their like mechs and combat vehicles in warehouses. Those warehouses aren't rated to handle that because your spaceport isn't meant to house a bunch of mercenaries. There's no place for them to stay, so they're overrunning local hotels, which means tourists can't stay there and locals can't come to the capital. They're drinking, they're fighting, they're killing. Some say that the mercenaries are the ones doing the killing. It's not great. It's not great, and you're taking the brunt of the blame, and you've been called out by the Reverend Dr. Nkwabe Tosh.
Good.
You want to do anything about this or any of your situations?
I do. I would like to do things and stuff. When does the Phase 7 renovation actually start?
It's already started.
Ongoing?
Yeah, it started dozens of years
like,
ago. The new one has started now. Yes. So money's already going up there. You have numerous new workers that you've recruited from Jasper's holdings, his gangsters. That happened before you left. So for Kuro's death, so that hasn't been canceled if you wanted it to. They are like apprenticing under experienced, like I'm gonna call them space welders, essentially, and they're also learning the rock hopping trade so that they can head out to the asteroid belt and start mining for when the station is expanded. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
they're gonna need to know how to do it before they actually do it.
Right. Yeah, Lachlan's not going to go back on his deal because like that was a deal that him and Jasper made as part of the kind of political push stuff.
They've specifically been kept out of administrative work, as you requested.
Yeah.
They just do the hard backbreaking.
Exactly. They're only allowed to have like blue collar labor jobs.
Listen, I just started watching The Expanse season 3, and these guys are definitely OPA 100% now. They were criminals before then, and now they're space criminals performing space crime.
Excellent. Good. So I guess I don't think that like. I'm trying to think of what Lachlan would do about the Reverend Doctor situation, and I don't think that he would just like go down and like have like an argument with this guy. So instead, I think he would just kind of try to keep pushing the like public relations campaign about like how like this new military industry project is good for everyone. And
okay, so your plan to deal with this problem is to ignore it.
Well, it's to so that I was wrapping around. I was saying, okay. So first there's like continued public relations campaign about like how great all of this stuff is. And then the other thing I'm thinking of is like Lachlan is a New Avalon Catholic. So I'm wondering if like there's some way that he could like use like any ties the family has with the church or whatever to basically make it turn like the Reverend's Doctor's thing into like a perceived religious conflict instead of being about Lachlan. Like get like the New Avalon people like start doing their part, and then it just like looks like it's like some
so you want to try to attract like your preacher or your father to get in there and be like, well, this is discrimination again because he's Catholic.
Right.
Obviously. Okay.
Exactly. It's like the only reason you're going after Lachlan McDougall instead of blah, blah, blah is like you're just trying to persecute the New Avalon Catholics.
Nowadays, people talking about persecuting Catholics is very popular in the current timeline. So
exactly.
I assume it will still be such in the future. Yeah. And probably I would assume that anyone who is your priest has enough political savvy to at least go along with anything you're asking.
Especially because it was Lachlan's dad's priest, really. Like, right? Like, it's like Lachlan's dad was, I'm sure, doing the kind of classic, Italian, Italian like Renaissance thing of just like making sure you give money to the church, and so then the church can back you up.
Yeah. Money for influence.
Exactly. Indulgences came back in 30,
Indulgences never left.
What is the name of the father doctor?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Funnel some money through some bake sales.
Can you remind me again what like the main go-to like naming conventions for the Federated Sun are?
French and British.
French
They're
and
very
British. Okay.
Arthurian knight legends.
Okay, perfect. Then
not German as well.
German is 100% Lyran.
All right.
Yes, their last name is Steiner. You can't get more German than a guy named Steiner.
So a guy's name's Hans.
Hans?
Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Look, especially where are you asking for something like around us in general? Like I feel like saying the Federated Sons is way too broad of a name. It's like saying what's an American name? You know what I mean? Like it's like it doesn't mean anything.
Tom,
That's true.
Dick, Harry.
Yeah, exactly. John.
Okay.
All right, I've got a name for him. His name shall be Tristan Blanchard.
Tristan Blanchard. Wow, you really did go real hard on that Arthurian. Got it. All right, Father Dr. Tristan Blanchard, an aging man, but distinguished. This person shall on your behalf go out and talk about how persecuted you're being. Because of that really mean and offensive unfinished bookists.
Yeah, and then the other thing I want to do at some point, and you can tell me if it's good, if we should do that now or do like ball stuff first, is
I want to try ball.
Okay. I want to try to do some kind of follow up on that role that I failed. About
to investigate Bassett. Yes.
Yeah, and especially because I got that info packet from the late Kuro.
So, our next scene is at a waterfall with like a rock garden nearby. There's some trees. We see Jasper Haruka in like a white robe, and next to him, approaching him, is Yohei Genji, who is also wearing a white robe. He sits down on like a rock / bench. Like it's a rock that's been smoothed down by the number of people sitting on it, that it's basically like a flat seat at the top now. Yeah. And he says, "You've been here for several days now, but you have not spoken to me about why you're here. I can tell that you are a man who is not at peace and who requires processing of your loss. I came here when Shinji Moritomo Lake's clan killed my first wife and my daughter. It is a place where you can find peace if you open yourself to it, but you have not opened yourself while you are here. I know that the loss of Kuro must have hit you hard, and I am here to hear you. We have not always been allies, but allow me to say this. When I was your enemy, I knew that it was easy to provoke you. You are emotional. You may be a Mechwarrior of passing skill, but as a warrior, you are easily provoked. I would suggest that while you spend time here, even if it is not with me, there are many teachers who I have gathered across the inner sphere who recognize my skill and have come here to teach others. If you require someone other than me to get through this loss, they will hear you. But do not just overcome this loss. Master your emotions. If you want to become a great warrior, you require mastery of the self." And then he goes into lotus position and just kind of sits there and waits to see if you have anything to say.
Yeah, there's like a very long pregnant pause before I respond to him.
Oh, Yohei occasionally does the like, you know, the beard stroke, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Oh, his beard now has a slight bit of like one gray streak in it.
Yeah, it's got
and
the
he's
gray
like
streak.
fidgeting with it.
Yeah.
You know,
I see it.
It's been since the last time we've seen him. He's aged over this year, right? He hasn't really accepted this new gray streak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except that it looks absolutely sexy. Like there's like a level of it where
he's a very handsome Eurasian man, and he can pull it off.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's one of those beautiful things of like a beard that just kind of silvers just the right way, you know?
Yeah, it's something that we all wish we could age gracefully into.
Not happening here. No.
But, all right, so anyways,
I wish, but no.
Jasper will say, "I've been a rude guest. You have invited me into your home, given me this peace and this place. And I have not spoken a word to you. I apologize."
There is no rudeness in sorting through your feelings. There are some who come here and take oaths of silence. I do not ask that you speak with me, Jasper Hiroka, only that you process your loss. I know that you have been separated from your wife for some time, and with the wedding and the dropship transits, it must be difficult for her to come home. I know what it is like to not be able to see one's loved ones. But know that the wedding will be done soon, and when that is over, she will come home. Perhaps not for before Christmas, but for Christmas break. Perhaps she can make time. Until then, you have friends here.
Sensei, I struggle with my emotions when I'm not sure if I failed my friend or not. Tactically, there was no winning, and yet my friend pressed on. And every training I've received says that's foolish, and we should fight only the battles so that we know we can win. Or fighting for a greater cause where even in death there's victory. But I don't see it when we are there, when we do something that's not about, you know, I'm like struggling to come up with a way of like not talking about why exactly we were there, but like but whatever it wasn't for like an honor, like, you know, we weren't fighting on behalf of our Lord in that kind of way.
Well, the cover story,
we were kind of being greedy. It was the thing beneath the house.
Unless you've told him anything else, his knowledge is that Kuro died in like a cave-in, essentially. So,
right, okay.
Yeah,
so no,
like,
I have to be completely honest with him here.
All right, so he understands.
There can be, in a place like this, and he's showing hospitality, there can be no lies.
Okay, all right. So he's.
I will tell him. I'm absolutely would tell him.
You
even though this dude is an asshole
him.
to me. Yeah, right, and ruined my wedding, and I almost literally killed him in a duel. He's very lucky I didn't go through with it. He's very lucky I didn't go through with it. I will be honest with him.
So he says, your code is not the same as my code. Kurosapaku's
same code
is not the same as our code. Each person must decide for themselves how they will choose to approach life, how they choose to be a warrior, how they choose to master themselves. Kurosapaku saw an opportunity for knowledge, and he took it, and he has gained knowledge. He has regained knowledge that we could not have hoped to ever have achieved. His loss was a sacrifice. It was to make something sacred. This holy knowledge of the past that we now have. He did not die fighting, but he did die a warrior. What he has brought back may not win battles, but it will win wars. It will rebuild the Federated Suns stronger than ever. You believe that there is only one path, but look around you. This is a martial arts dojo. This is a place of peace and mastery. There are hundreds, thousands of martial arts forms, each of them containing some form of wisdom. You must have many points of view to understand the whole.
I see his pursuit of wisdom at the cost of his life as greedy.
And that is your choice.
How is it a choice?
Because from my point of view, his pursuit of wisdom brought him closer to God and has brought us all closer to God.
Sensei Genji, you knew my father and
I
you
did.
knew my grandfather. In the fields, in the meadow wheat fields outside of my home, there used to be two types of snakes. There was a black one and more like a corn snake. Then the black one used to sit and wait for the mice to come by, and sometimes it would wait so long that when it would eat, it was so weak that it would suffocate on the mouse. The corn snake never waited and always hunted, and as of maybe like when I was 5 or so, I haven't seen a black snake since.
The thing about your metaphor that you must remember is that nature finds a balance. The world wills the way things will turn out. Perhaps you see no black snake now, here, but it is elsewhere. And if it is nowhere, then that is how God intended things to be. You attempt to make a metaphor. You attempt to make a metaphor. But you forget that events are sometimes out of our control. We must put our faith in God that we move down the correct path. What Kuro did, you have no responsibility in his choices. You may question his decisions, but they are not your burdens to bear.
But Sensei, I do have a choice in his decisions. I'm his friend. I'm his companion.
Will you take his choice away from him? Will you not allow him to make his own decisions? Are you then his father, his keeper?
We were all each other's keepers.
I think he smiles at that and says that is true. This is but one part of a larger discussion.
Well, I have the time.
Okay.
Good
I
scene,
feel
dude.
like that discussion continues off camera.
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, absolutely, it does. I mean, like weeks, like a montage.
Yeah.
So like, don't worry about it. Like, we can fast forward it whenever you need me to. But like, I just imagine we're fucking there.
So you start getting
all day. Just doing
you start
this.
getting reports from your rock hoppers. So these are members of your criminal
My rock
organization.
opera.
Rock hoppers.
Oh yeah, my space miners.
Space pirates now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're finally up in space and they're on their way on a week's transit out to to start.
They're
learning
leveling up their zero G skills.
Yeah,
I got it.
asteroid mining trait. There's a lot of vomiting going on.
It's all right. I'm not there.
Even though they picked the best of the best for the zero G trading over the last few months, you know.
Hold on. Real quick, can we back it up real quick?
Yeah.
So like I told what's it, Genji about our thing, and like, did he care at all? We kind of just like really just glossed by real quick, but like, what was his initial reaction that like we fought an Amaris AI?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, did he?
There wasn't a lot going on there. Like he's a very guarded individual in that regard.
Bullshit. I want to insight that.
Okay.
We're here. We're here. I've studied him enough that I would know his response.
You're using your Sharingan eye.
Perception is a skill, isn't it?
Yes.
I got a 10.
10 total?
I don't know what perception is.
You get part
Perception
of
is
a
based
read.
on will.
Oh, it's.
I thought you
12.
had it.
It's based on will.
I don't have perception, but my will is a 2. So, no, wait, it's 3. So 13 or 12.
I'm pretty sure it's based on will, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's probably based on will.
I have no idea.
So, what does 12 get me?
12 will get you a little bit more than a 10. So he spends most of the time in a deep level of shock. At the idea, not the Amaris doesn't throw him off, but the idea of artificial intelligence does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like he is not accepting of non-human entities as far as you can tell.
Neither am I. So, like, I get it. Okay.
We got your
It's the
nice little
closest I
dragoon
think
over
we
here.
will ever come to fighting a monster. Is like,
Yeah,
kind of what I
you
philosophically.
literally fought the Leviathan.
Yeah, like that's like philosophically where I'm at, and like, yeah, it changed me, and that's why like the idea of yeah. Anyways,
We found Moby
Okay.
Dick.
anyways, we moved on. What are we doing?
If I could, I would like to have, and I'd be willing to spend a plot point to make this happen. Because I had said that there was like a thing that I wanted to dead drop to some people. This is, and I guess it could be something where like Anko discovers it, and then as like a final.
Well, let me wrap things up with Jasper because I hadn't quite finished that, and then we will talk about it. I'm trying to find the LRM carrier here for ya boy. That's the Bulldog. Is this an LRM carrier? Yes. Okay, here you go, Lachlan McDougal. We'll figure out what heavy tank you want later. Do you only have one battle mech now? Just the Black Knight still? Okay, just making sure. 'Cause
damn.
everybody else has a bunch.
I was planning on getting a mech or two when I thought that we were going to do well in our adventures in Lost Tech, but
That didn't go so well. Yeah, I understand. While you are at Yohei Genji's retreat, you get a series of messages, Jasper. One is from Jana von Hohenheim, and normally she does voice video messages, but this is all in text, and it's from the office of Jana von Hohenheim. It is requesting your signature on a trade deal for the planet that she's on. It's basically like sealing a deal that your meta wheat and some like seed and farming assistance from you, so like knowledge of how to properly cultivate this plant, will be sent to this planet as part of the trade deal, and you'll be getting significant rewards as part of the deal.
Okay. Well, before I sign anything, based on, I need to review some stuff on it.
Okay.
Will I be making more money over? Am I like selling the rights for like an upfront cost? Would I make more money on the long run if I didn't sign this deal?
So they don't want
And
to
that's-
buy meta wheat from you. They want to
Yeah.
learn how to farm meta wheat because
Right.
their planet
And-
has the perfect environment.
Right. And this is the part where I want to make some sort of like stewardship test to know whether or not this will make me more money. Because that's the question I have in mind.
Versus what?
I mean, I guess it would be the thing that we roll leadership, because that's what we roll.
No, I mean, what is the alternative to doing this?
Okay, so my intention is
They want
I
to
want
buy
do,
seed stock and knowledge from you. I don't know
Right,
that you can
but-
sell that in some other way.
well, I wouldn't sell it to them that way. I would just keep trying to argue for the current rate of them buying meta wheat from me.
They don't buy meta wheat from you.
Oh, so it's
Yes,
like
this
an all
is
or
a
nothing
trade
thing.
deal to gain more stuff for them. But
Okay.
like they are
Then what
not
do I
a
gain
meta
from
wheat
it?
importer currently.
Then I need to know exactly what I'm gaining from it in terms of money.
Somewhere around 3 to 4 assets out of it, and that will be yearly for 2 years.
And assets are the equivalent to XP at the end of the year for spending for stuff.
Yes, or for putting towards your stewardship roles at the
yeah,
end
there are
of the year.
things you can do with the assets that you can't really do with XP.
And they make it a lot easier to critical on those rolls.
Yeah, I would. So then that sounds great to me. What am I missing in terms of what's the fear of doing this? And can that be a test?
What should I be on the lookout for? Draconis Combine, essentially. So you are feeding your enemies, possible enemies. You're at peace now.
I think there's something generous about feeding your enemies, and I can spin that, and that makes me actually look good. So
wow, that's the most politically calculated I think we've ever seen, Jasper Hiroka.
That's true.
Ultimately, yeah. And that, I mean, people need to be fed. And I mean, hell, my Heartzogs are Draconis refugees, and like there is a need that extends beyond people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have to PR campaign this.
I'm imagining.
Give me the fucking assets.
I'm imagining Jasper is like remembering some version of the old story from the Warring States period in Japan, where there's like a famous general or like a daimyo or something who sends rice and salt to one of his enemies because he doesn't want them to starve to death. He thinks it's dishonorable for them to die that way.
I can totally see that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They also know, our enemies also know about life, and death, and yeah.
Okay. So you're saying yes?
I will do it. Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
They so the deal isn't done yet, but it
what
would
does
be
Davies
wise.
think about it? Sorry.
You're wise. So are you calling him?
Counsel?
Are you heading home to go speak with him?
Yeah, I mean, like, we don't have a council individually, so but he's like the closest I have to a council. So like, what would he say? And like, I assumed the question, and I would my instinct is I will always talk to Tamari, but Tamari's like too far away for this to matter,
it takes
right?
Days to.
Yeah, it's like, so like me not telling Tamari about this for her opinion right now isn't necessarily like weird. Right, because I would ask for her opinion if there's enough time between when I had to say or not. Because, like, again, my instinct is literally to do that, so I don't want to punish her. So I would love to hear what she says, but if it's not like feasible, then don't worry about it. Then I would definitely talk to Davies as well. Like, I listen to other people for my opinions, right? I'm not a schemer, and I end up just listening to people, which probably makes me a little weird for a noble. But like, that's how I rule, is that I will literally listen to my counselors and stuff whenever possible.
So Davies' family has been fighting the Draconis Combine since the formation of his house. So the idea of feeding them is kind of antithetical to him. He doesn't have the same level of honor that you do.
Of course not.
He cares more about his family.
My father.
Yeah.
Then I ask him, like, what would my father do? And how does he answer?
I don't.
Is the answer still biased, or does he fucking swallow his pride and realize that this is the right thing to do?
I think he would answer you accurately. So you'll have to tell me, what would your father have said?
Would absolutely feed him.
Yeah, I mean, he says it in a kind of
he has begrudging defeat. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's what I mean. But like, that's what. But I'm like, Edward, I hear you and I value your opinion, but at this point, I need you to tell me, what do you think my father would do? He wouldn't let these people starve. And yeah, that cool. Anyways, that's it. He probably doesn't like me right now. He will remember this, but that's fine. I'm happy. I'm happy with this wheat deal and honoring my father.
Okay. You receive more video messages from your wife.
Hell yeah. And I send them back.
She indicates she'll be back.
Every comment. I do it. I listen to them all multiple times.
No, don't bring social media into this.
She always has your daughter nearby and like say hello to daddy, but the kid's like 3 months old.
And I fucking cry though every time because I can't hold my own daughter in my arms every night.
Lady Anko, you have been summoned to the governor's mansion, to the Lake family estate. To a very formal affair, like full dress uniform. You are met by like a line of people with swords who raise them when you go past. Sir Owen Faber Lake Reincold is there with the 5-year-old countess who has been stuffed into a dress that she doesn't really want to wear, and she accepts your oath of loyalty to her and then runs off to go do something else while Erwin drags you inside and sits you at a table and then slams his hand on the table and goes, Lady Anko, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
I don't know what you mean.
You are going to adopt a dozen orphans into your noble house? This is not how one carries on a noble line. I will not accept any of these rascals as inheritor of the great Spaku legacy. They do not have the blood, they do not have the training, they do not have the lineage. What you are doing may be allowed legally, but I will use every technicality in the book to punish your house if you do this. You will be a pariah.
If you look at what has been happening in recent years, it behooves us to work quickly in ensuring that the Supaku family line continues.
I agree. Get married.
I intend to.
Maybe a man who has kids.
But even so, these orphans are bright, and they were trained in my family's dojo for many years before
He rolls his eyes.
She continues on and doesn't really adjust. Eddie didn't, but and even so, even if they may not be of noble birth, they are still of the same philosophy of the Spaku family.
I've said my piece. You know my stance on this. The weight of an entire world will crash down upon you if you continue with this plan. I cannot stop you, but I can punish you for your foolishness. You make a mockery of all of our noble houses when you do this.
Very well. I will consider your words.
You may go.
And she'll bow courteously and leave the room.
The camera stays on him. He's got his head in his hands. He's staring blankly out the window. He's looking like every single time we see him, he's looking significantly older and older.
Mm-hmm. And I think you see Kuro, or not Kuro. You see Anko. Freudian slip. You see Anko, kind of thinking have a look of both concern, am I making the right choice? Adopting these children, if they're going to be only a pariah in the nobility. And I kind of imagine later, she's talking with.
Look, just to be clear, it's one thing to adopt kids. It's another thing to adopt kids with the intent that they become the heirs to your house. Especially Fair. If they don't have any noble blood. And double especially if they have no training.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though, is that the argument that they have no training...
Martial arts training and noble etiquette in business are two very different things.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, there's philosophy training in the dojo, but I think that there's some level... Well, anyway, that's here nor there. I think there's the thoughts or the consideration of the Sir Reinhardt is now waving over Anko as she weighs the decision that she has to make. Do I adopt them wholly as heirs or simply into the house to...
So Butler's standing nearby says, ma'am, did you need something?
I'm perplexed. With the loss of Kuro, we have very little lineage left. Tea, please.
Okay, they bring you tea.
And while we're talking about Anko, I kind of imagine as the butler comes back with tea, he also has a package or something, and it's something from Kuro. Lady Anko would pick up this package and look at it with kind of a wistful look. Open it, and it's a data disk. And it says, honor, a path forward is what it's labeled as. And I think this is one of those moments where she's like was in the middle of sipping her tea, puts the cup down. Kuro, what have you been up to? And that's kind of where we finish it off.
So you've chosen to take a behemoth heavy tank now, Sam?
Transition.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Look, I have a
The
bunch
fuck
of
is that?
It's like multi-target vehicle that's got like dozen weapon systems.
It has.
God.
Two
It
AC-10s,
has.
four LRM-5s? Why?
What the fuck, man?
That allows you to target 4 different targets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look,
That's wild.
it's
So
not it's not the best designed vehicle ever, but it does have a bunch of short range murder vehicle stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should just wait. See, you need to wait and get a behemoth 2 to the Gauss rifle and 8 Thunderbolt 5s.
Don't worry, there's always time to buy more tanks later on. I'm like starting to think that maybe at first I thought that I was just gonna have a shitload of mechs, but now I'm starting to think that I may, in like 20 years of gameplay, end up just having like a fleet of tanks.
So the thing to recognize about the behemoth is that it's very good at fighting infantry because of the 4 machine guns. It's got a lot of SRM and LRM packs, which means it can target lots of different infantry units.
That was
Get
part
a
of why
coolant.
I got it, is I felt like we didn't have any good answer to infantry.
Can I get a
sure.
fleet of coolant trucks?
The J27 Dragon coolant trucks with flamethrowers.
Yeah. How did you
Yes.
know?
Oh
about
my
it.
god.
Thinking about it.
Awesome.
If I could bring it back to I think Jasper receives a similar package from Kuro.
Okay, so
Jasper leaves it unopened.
Jasper,
Yeah.
you've also received a message from whatever your house is. Well, it's probably Davies actually, indicating that he's done some research on what did we end up calling the disease that affects Maya?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, but it's the one golden weed syndrome.
Yeah.
That the Star League era Nura helmet and combat suit that Anko has as part of her Dragoon battle mech now will allow Maya to pilot when she's an adult. It will allow her to pilot a battle mech without any neurodegeneration.
I think if there's
This will be
downtime,
Maya's choice. I won't make this choice
Okay.
for.
Well,
for
I
her.
mean, first that suit has to survive for 16 years.
yeah,
Then
Yeah,
she
so
needs
I'm-
2 years of training. Then at 18,
Yeah, but-
at the very earliest she could step into a battle mech for real.
But this has to be my daughter's choice. This has
Yeah.
to be the path that she wants to walk, and she can make that choice whenever she wants, and I'll be here to help her and support her. But I'm not going to force
you'll
that
die
on
and then you'll be playing her. So
Well, then that's pretty
that'll
easy. Then I know
really
what
be her
choice she's
choice.
gonna make.
Yeah.
I know what choice she's gonna make. But until then, it's her choice.
okay,
Yeah.
great, because that means I get to make the choice.
Yeah, and then
Who
I
knows
also
what
want
I'll
another
do?
big.
I'm
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I might have. Yeah, I might have another kid. Who knows?
I guess if
Ooh.
there is downtime, I did want to specify that Anko and Lachlan and Zen would all be working on, or like trying to, I guess, look at the Dragoon and try to understand its technology at a deeper level to see if we can learn from it.
Okay. I mean, like, understanding the technology isn't that difficult. Recreating it is. You don't have the industrial... Even if you could perfectly understand it, you don't have the industrial processes to recreate it. And the allegory that I like to go with is we've had stealth technology in aircraft for like 70 years, and there's only like 3 countries in the world that make stealth aircraft.
Right.
It's just too expensive to maintain.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
have
mean,
to have the technological base and the materials, which very few countries are large enough and have enough money to do so.
Right.
I am planning on, as part of like the legislation this year, like trying to like, I mean, we passed the funding last year, but try to do like kickstarting the like industry portion of the military industry. But I mean, this is a 20-40 year project. It's
Sure.
You literally have to paint stealth planes every single time they go out.
Let's talk
you have a
about
fresh coat of stealth paint
August 21st.
because like bugs and shit ruin the radar.
So August 20th is the day of the wedding.
It's real.
Of Hans Davian and Melissa Steiner to join their two houses and their two nations, the Federated Sons and the Lyrian Commonwealth, into a new Federated Commonwealth. Comstar has promised that it's going to get information as quickly as possible. The Donegal Broadcasting Corporation has secured throughout the Fed Sons and the Lyrian Commonwealth first broadcast rights. So the assumption is that as soon as the wedding's over, everything will be dumped in a video message across the inner sphere, and then the next day or two it should get across the entire inner sphere at basically massive cost. So all of you are in your individual homes on the 21st of August when, like, breaking news report, we interrupt this broadcast, and James Jives is like there, he's sweating, somebody is putting makeup on his face as he's sitting at the desk, and he's just like, we have just had the following report. We will have the full wedding for you later, but at the climax of the wedding, Hans Davian toasted his new wife and offered her the Capellian Confederation. All across the Federated Sons and Lyrian Commonwealth borders, invasions of the Draconis Combine and the Capellian Confederation have begun. And it does, if you'll remember this guy that we've seen a few times, Justin Shang, formerly Justin Shang Allard, raises his glass from the Capellian Confederation table to Hans, and then uses his cyber arm to crush the glass, and then like juice drips through his fingers. We see the Chancellor of the Capellian Confederation, Maximilian Liao, screaming, "Get the plates!" The plates all have planets on them, and he's screaming about how the plates must be the planets that Hans Davian is conquering. Hans is monologuing about how he didn't use Comstar at all and has spent months planning this invasion using hand-carried messages by jump ships, which is why no one could get a jump ship anywhere. All these military units are already invading during the wedding. Like, he's not, we're going to kick off a war. He's announcing, like, we're landing on the following, the following 20
happened.
planets belong to us as of this moment. It's fucking madhouse. So Jamie Wolf, who you might remember as having attacked a Comstar facility and being one of the top mercenary, like he's got the most massive mercenary unit in the inner sphere. It's got like 5 regiments. He has challenged the coordinator of the Draconis Combine to a one-on-one duel, and he appears to be fighting the Federated Sons Draconis March line. Jamie is attacking one planet on the Draconis Combine side and is basically like, send your entire force at me, you fucking honorless coward, and then threw 2 swords at his feet. Like, everything that's happening here, the House Mark continues just sitting around and going, wow, this is a great wedding. Good beef. It's a fucking madhouse. People are calling James live on the air to be like, here's my reaction. People are fucking losing their minds. And then it's like highlights from the wedding. Here's this, and this. And then, like, for you, it specifically highlights Lachlan. Like, here's where the new Avalon Pope and the Terran Pope came together to consecrate the wedding. Like, it's like the first time in hundreds of years these two men have been on the same room. They come together to bless this union. That's at the very beginning of the wedding. It's a madhouse.
By the end of it, you're getting messages about, like, your computer needs to update the star map. Your computer needs to update. A new star map has been found. Would you like to update? Like, literally in the ivory tower, like every 5 minutes. It's just like, like every time the shit comes in, there's a new update, and you would just see like the paint the map, you know, of just the fucking Federated Sun territory, and the Lyrian just go like, boop.
So much for using our data dump to make a splash. Like,
I know.
It's completely lost. Yep, it's completely lost in it. How long does it take before the two places are finally connected?
So here's the problem for you, Lady Anko. You receive a message as part of that emergency Comstar dump to all the planets from the desk of Jana von Hohenheim.
Oh, jeez.
It indicates that the planet of origin is Delacruz, which, if you don't know, is in the Draconis Combine.
Yeah.
And it's just... it clearly wasn't written by her. It was written by a secretary saying, like, my apologies for your loss. I'm sorry it took so long for me to get to you. If you could please take all of my belongings out of your estate and have them shipped to my estate, my people will contact you. Sincerely, Baroness Jana von Hohenheim from Delacruz. And that was sent 2 days ago.
Okay.
You know that she's part of a trade deal. Lachlan, you also know that she's there because she's been negotiating these trade deals, which means your spaceport will be seeing increased traffic. You, of course, know, Jasper, because your first shipments of meta wheat are on their way to Delacruz right now. Jana is trapped behind enemy lines.
Yep. Awesome.
Excellent.
Are we going on a rescue mission?
Listen, it's August. You have until November 5th to decide what you want to do for the Kerensky Ball. You tell me what your reactions to this fucking madhouse are.
How did you buy a behemoth in this time?
XP.
Yeah, but who's selling it?
I mean, I assume
listen,
that
who
the
has-
sale
who has-
must
who
have
has a
happened
surplus
a while
military?
ago.
So I want to remind
behemoth
you.
fell off a truck right now.
I want to
Is that what
remind
happened?
you.
It just fell off a truck.
The Third Secession War ended and people began lowering military budgets, but surplus equipment was being sold off.
But we couldn't get a jump ship for like 7 months. So like, how did you get this out here? And like, how did you organize?
It was
this in
already
this time?
here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
So it
let me
fell
tell
off
you
a truck.
something. No, it didn't fall off a truck. You might recall that your boy, who became a knight, has been buying military equipment with an unlimited license because he's a knight now. Maximilian Jacobson has been bringing in tons of military equipment to resell that he couldn't do before because you have to be like, all right, I need a license to buy this battle mech and a license to buy this. Now that he's a knight, he's like, I can buy all the military equipment I want. Jacobson told you he thought there was going to be another war.
That was what made
that?
Lachlan think that there was going to be another war, is because both Jana and Jacobson were like, there's going to be another war.
And Jacobson's been waiting for this moment, and he is selling military equipment at marked up prices today.
Yeah,
mercenary companies all across the planet are demanding exclusive contracts with him, and he's like, we'll talk to you individually, one by one.
Yeah, so like, how did you get a single thing off of him without like paying extraordinary prices?
They're best friends and allies.
Yeah, we have like a multi-trillion-dollar spaceport building contract going on. Like,
oh, that's how you get it for market price. Okay, makes sense. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Be entwined with a multi-trillion-dollar C-bill deal. Okay, yeah, makes sense. I got you.
So AP,
I'm not buying anything lately.
what was interesting? Yeah, what was interesting is like I think we left last time with Shinji Moritomo Lake
challenging you to a Olympiad, which is a Star League Defense Force tradition called the Martial Olympiad in the tradition of the Olympics.
Okay.
Do you want to accept that challenge? He's still willing to send a great martial artist to whoop your ass.
So I guess my original plan was to like couple it with, because it was a public, like massively broadcast message.
It was an advertisement.
And I think Anko would do the same. Because at this point
are you sending the message here on this planet, or are you sending it on his home planet of Valentina, where he currently lives? Are you counter challenging him on Valentina? Like, fucking come at me, bro.
I think ultimately it's something along those lines where I'm trying to raise the intimidation level of like, if you're going to challenge me, why don't you come yourself, or something like that, where
perfect, then we can capture him.
Exactly. No, but originally my plan was to announce it as like the transference, since he was addressing Kuro specifically. It was like Anko essentially addressing the fact that Kuro is dead, and making the public announcement, which I have written, but now I'm kind of confused because like now there's this whole evasion happening. So I'm not entirely sure how maybe this should play out. But yeah, so I'm kind of putting it out to everyone else to brainstorm real fast. Because I have something prepared, but I'm like, does it even matter anymore?
I don't have a good answer to that.
Yeah. What do you think, AP?
So the thing is, Anko doesn't have the same kind of military resources that Kuro did because he was an actual intelligence officer.
Right.
But you do know that the war along the Federated Suns Draconis Combine border has actually been pretty light. Normally, this would probably be the heaviest point of the war, but instead, you might remember more military units were landed here, and then they were pulled away. They were shipped away to the Capellan Confederation. Almost all the troops have been pulled off of this border, and the Federated Sun strategy seems to entirely be to let Wolf's Dragoons fight the entire fight in the Draconis Combine. The Combine must answer the fact that the Lyran Commonwealth is invading them on an entirely separate borderline, so their choices are counter-invade the Federated Suns or defend their own planets, and it looks like they're choosing to defend their own planets. So this border, for the first time in Secession War history, the Federated Suns Draconis Combine border is actually pretty quiet.
Okay.
That doesn't mean there isn't going to be raids. That doesn't mean planets won't be lost, but you don't need to worry about a multi-regimental assault on like 6 planets on either side of the border at this point.
Okay.
That doesn't mean nothing's going to change, because this is literally the first few weeks of a war that could last decades.
So I guess what you're saying is that from
if you
Anka's
want to call
perspective-
him to come fight you, it's possible for him to do so. Or if you want to go to him.
Ooh, would I be able to like sneakily turn it into a rescue mission for Jana as well?
She's on a different planet. She's
Yeah,
in
I was wondering if
Delacruz.
like, I was wondering if it
It would
was
be
like
really
on
weird
the
to
way or
challenge
something
somebody
like
to
that.
a third-party fight, like
Really
really far.
Delacruz!
I think he'd probably go, "Why Delacruz?"
No reason.
Yeah, wow, incredible intelligence officer work here. There's no
not
way
one.
he'll see through this.
Okay. Well, then I will kind of give a rough message. So I think this is a public message that she presents to him specifically, and then on to Whittington. So this is something that because he basically projected it to the public of Whittington of like challenging Kuro, right? But she won't give him the satisfaction of spreading this advertisement to, well, no, all right, I'm just going to do it. And it's going to be to Valentina, where he is, and to Whittington specifically. And you see Anko like in formal wear, looking probably her cleanest, and she looks at the camera and kind of like starts looking down in like a solemn introspection, and then looks up directly into the camera and says, "It is my solemn responsibility to announce that Kuro Subaku has joined our ancestors in a great sea of stars. It falls upon me to carry on the family name and all that entails. First, we lost Kuro in the line of duty, serving the Lake family." And then she goes into like telling the rehearsed story provided by Sir Erwin Reinhardt, giving like kind of whatever details we've been allowed to express. Finally, in response to Shinji Moritomo Lake's message, right? The Seppaku family accepts your challenge with confidence, and then like gives a very intimate, like just a death stare, if you can project that through a camera. I'm not sure, but it's just like, and if I could, I'd love to make an intimidation roll.
With what purpose?
With the intention of like,
I mean, if you want to intimidate 2 planets worth of people, that's one thing. If you want to intimidate Shinji, that's entirely another.
yeah, specifically I want to intimidate Shinji to like see what, or to manipulate his response.
Into what?
Into maybe like second guessing the challenge, or perhaps like sending someone that's not their best.
I don't think it's possible to intimidate someone into sending a weaker candidate.
Fair.
If you're like, I'm really bad, he's not going to go, oh, they're so tough, we better send somebody weaker.
Yeah.
If instead you want to make him fear that he might lose this challenge, that's possible.
Yes. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Sure. I'm going to say it's a 13 intimidation.
Okay. I'm gonna re-roll that. Whoop.
That didn't re-roll.
Yeah. I was trying to select the. I was trying to
Yep.
specifically select the 6. Sorry. Let's see. Let's do that. Okay.
Well, there you go.
That is a 16.
Okay, we'll see what his response is at a later date. It's gonna take, it's a round trip message.
Right. That's some box cards right there. Beautiful.
I think the response is going to be that there's no response. He doesn't pursue this challenge any further. It gets lost in the shuffle of the war. Okay.
I kind of like that.
Question, AP.
Yes.
So one of the things we kind of like talked about in the previous stuff has been that like Lachlan, having gotten this information that people he trusts think war is going to come, has been like trying to pivot things such that when war comes,
your military industrial, the mercenaries on planet are getting a surge of more mercenaries showing up from deeper states, like showing up and being like, all right, we're on the border, ready to fight, someone hire us.
Well, so I guess my question would be is there any way I can like make some kind of roll or something to like see how good he did at like prepping to make sure that like when the war comes, he's like situated financially to
I'll let you make
well.
a stewardship roll and we'll see. So leadership, essentially, I think is what we use.
Yes.
Leadership is our stewardship.
I have a +5 to that. Let's see how I do, folks. I've been terrible at rolling lately.
So you have to beat a 12, right?
I'm gonna gradiate it.
That's a 7 + 5 is a 13. You know what? I'm gonna spend a point of edge to reroll the 2.
That's 12.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm bad at math. Nope.
Oh,
Still
two
a 12.
stands.
Look, man,
stands.
This is entirely superstition. But I press R like 3 or 4 times before I let it fall.
So look,
just so it gets enough rotation, then it's random.
You have to press it at least.
In my head, it doesn't mean anything.
You have to press it at least twice, because if you only press it once, it only goes on one axis.
Oh, really?
Should I re-roll?
Oh wait, there's something to it.
No, flip a die, one roll, and watch it roll like any die. It'll only rotate on one axis.
Oh yeah,
if you do it twice, it will induce enough motion to do 2. I thought everybody knew that. My bad.
No, let me redo that because I just rolled a 2 3 times in a row.
Okay, those are just intuitive.
Okay,
hey,
that's better.
15.
Yeah. You need at least 2 to put a spin on it.
Got it.
That's good. No. From now on, I will. Yeah. I've been wondering why my rerolls always end up doing terribly. Now I know.
I've been the same. Oh my god.
So your total was 10
15.
plus. Okay. So I'm gonna give you 2 assets at the end of the year for your spaceport surge then.
Sweet.
Nice planning.
So you're in a pretty good place. Actually,
Nice
Kuro
foresight,
is
my
probably in the best place, but he did throw all of his shit to an entirely different country. So
yeah. You're the only one who right now your biggest source of income is from a place entirely unaffected by military conflict.
Yeah. Well, and how long was that contract? Because it's been a year.
Years.
Right? Oh, it's years.
Years. Yeah, they'll be there for a while.
Okay.
My mech empire built on the back of beer sales. I love it.
I mean, my hope is that they come to our aid.
They will not.
Yeah.
What?
They have very small Battlemech forces and almost no dropships, jump ships, or aerospace. They don't even have hyperpulse generators. It will be weeks before they learn about the wedding of Hans Davian and Melissa Steiner being a shit show.
Oh boy.
The first they'll learn of it will probably be from a Federated Suns or a Draconis Combine raid recharging in their system. Being like, hey, we're going to use you to cut through and go to the Draconis Combine through your territory. No, our bad, bros, but like, we're just going to charge here and there's nothing you can do about it. We're going to disrespect your sovereignty because we don't give a shit.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to happen throughout the whole war.
I should have taken the bigger asset boon then. Jeez.
You would have been training people to become a military force, though. You would have been directly involved in.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, what do you think would happen in that case if you train them up and then you were like, all right, well now my forces riot, take over the government, and we attack the Draconis Combine? Is there anything any of you want to do with the fucking, like, let's be clear, like, life has been completely disrupted by this war. Almost no one saw it coming. Everyone was enjoying peace. The Hans Davian is regarded as either being a monster who has orchestrated the largest war in history since Amaris and is marrying a child, or he's regarded as a super military genius who has orchestrated the greatest war in history and will easily destroy all evil.
I mean, I think, yeah, wow.
The only one who comes out looking good in this is Melissa Steiner, who's just like, well, I'm 18 and I'm married now and I'm basically a fucking saint. Everybody else, Janos Marek spent the whole time drinking and laughing at his allies for getting wrecked by Hans Davian. So
it's too funny.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Jeff.
No, this would obviously cause me to have to leave Yohei Genji's service. So
right.
Like our stuff would be, we had much more to talk about, but I have to cut it short because of my obligations to my family.
Yeah, he understands.
I think Anko would be attempting to find the I guess, like, in short, like, what would be the state of the Seppaku family right now? Because, you know,
pure
we talked
chaos.
Yeah.
So let me fill you in on something. Vega Kane had a girlfriend that he had a child with. Okay. She has gone missing since the announcement of the war. Like, people reported to you after 3 or 4 days that they try to check in on her every once in a while, bring her flowers, bring her food. All her stuff was packed up and she's gone.
With the kid, or is
with
the kid still there?
With the kid.
Okay.
No one knows where she's gone to. They don't know whether to start a police report. They don't know very much else about her.
Okay.
Other than that, like, you're undergoing the process of, you know, you weren't ever a Seppaku. Now you're taking over all the Seppaku interest. You weren't trained for this. You're not a Baron. Well, you physically are a Baron now, but you weren't trained to be a Baron.
Right.
They have to get you up to speed on everything Kuro was doing. Kuro left behind all of these notes that are like philosophical warrior talk that you're sorting through. It's pure fucking chaos for you. Oh, and there's a war. Yeah, so
Yeah. So I think I think Anko is like taking respite every so often to try to maintain her calm. And in those times she's like flipping through this data pad that Kuro had left behind, and I think there's like a moment where she realizes that, like in the chaos of what's going on, she needs to be there for not just her family, but also to help rebuild Whittington, or prepare Whittington for this, because I don't think she knows about like what Jana and Kuro talked about with the like conspiracy of war was imminent.
You would know that Kuro worked with Lachlan and Jasper to pass that like big prep for war spending bill, though.
That makes sense. So I think at this point, like she would be contacting you both regularly, just kind of like trying to understand, like, you know, what was Kuro planning that you know of, you know, trying to get up to speed with also the plans that you all were making now that she's tied to you all. And so I think specifically she goes to Lachlan to ask, like, I understand that you are moving to the next phase of your Whittington's preparations for infrastructure and industry. I wish to be a part of this if I can. I know that the Seppaku family has much to offer in terms of education and training, so perhaps we can aid in this.
Yeah. So to set the scene a little bit, I'm imagining like Lachlan in response to this probably went like full wartime politician. I'm sure like his outward, the lie that he tells himself is that like he's here trying to like support the people of Whittington, but like the truth is that's like also very self-serving, because he's like trying to be like that wartime political hero and like fill in that gap a little bit, especially because Bassett's off planet, and he's been kind of filling in that role of people's champion lately. So I'm imagining like you encounter Lachlan as he's like between like photo opportunities or like meetings or something, right? So it's like as you're like saying this, he like has you pause for a second and like puts his arm around you and like turns to like have someone like take a photo of us together, and then like he like, you know, it has like motions to like some security team to like kind of like block off space as they're like walking over to some other thing, and he'll be like, of course, Lady Anko, I had already made arrangements with the late Kuro Seppaku before all of this happened. He was part of the original conception of the bill. If you are interested, I do have more legislation I plan to put forward in regards to these things. It'll be time before all of our funding can start to bear fruit, but I have a distribution package that I'm looking to put forward to help get that started in the form of factories and increased industry. I'm sure Baron Latour will have reports to us on ways that we can make sure the roads that were part of the package get taken care of as well. So there's plenty to do if you're looking for it.
One idea that I had was perhaps we could create a government-sponsored grant to support the vocational training as jobs migrate towards these industries. I think that would benefit us all greatly, and the Seppaku family could certainly assist with that.
Perfect. That sounds very much in line with what Kuro was planning on himself. I'm glad that nothing will be changing too greatly. It's an appropriate role.
Fascinating. I wonder if it's just innate to the Seppaku family that we both had the same idea.
I think like Lachlan seems like a little bit uncomfortable by this conversation, but it's like maybe like the only real way that it would be obvious is like most people kind of expect him to be, you know, a little more boisterous, and you can see that he's putting on a little bit less of that public face.
Sure.
And I think he'll just kind of like shrug when you like remark on that similarity.
Um, well, if there's anything else I can do, there is much I'm attempting to resolve and move forward in the Seppuku house. But I am at your disposal, as we must all move forward together.
I'll send you some things. There's certainly different opportunities we would appreciate you at. Always good to show a united front.
Of course. And I think this is probably one of the first times that, well, not maybe the first, but definitely one of the more prominent times that you see Anko give you like a very sweet and like heartwarming smile. Something of like, kind of like an understanding, almost motherly, not like in a condescending way, but like in a like comforting way.
Yeah. I think Lachlan gives like a little bit of a smile back. And you can probably see he just seems tired.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the moment like after that, he like turns to like go talk to whoever the next group is. And you like, there's like maybe that like moment where Anko and maybe other people who are paying close attention to Lachlan, but probably not people who are like incidentally paying attention would see he kind of takes like this like big like all right, yeah. I'm ready to like do the next thing, and then like puts on like politician face, and we get back to like how we're used to seeing Lachlan. You know, he like, oh, good to see everyone. I'm so glad you all made it. Oh my god, it's great to see. Has it been 10 years or oh my goodness, you know, like lots of that kind of shit.
Absolutely. And I think we see Anko just kind of make her way to do whatever else she needs to get done, which is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, she would probably, in regards to like following up on that, Lachlan would definitely like send her. He probably would send her like a bunch of like updates and stuff on stuff that he had been working on like with Kuro tangentially. But then also, since she said she wanted to help, she's just going to get a colossal amount of like invites to like events and like lobbying, events and like photo opportunities and just like all of this like quote unquote like helping the war like type stuff, but is all very like political bullshit.
Well, and I think she would accept a lot of it. She's trying to put herself out there as a leader, and it's interesting. You see the contrast of her and Kuro is that she's more into that space. Like she like feels comfortable in that space.
Okay. Anything else for that scene?
Nope, I think that's
good.
I think our final scene will be the three of you called to the governor's palace, the estates for the Lake family. Full dress uniform.
What's the estate palace called?
It's literally called the governor's palace.
It doesn't have a castle name.
That is his castle name. It's governor's palace because it's an estate and it's not actually a castle.
You don't have one prepared. I got you.
Yep.
Okay.
I said earlier in the episode it was called the governor's palace.
Sure.
Jesus.
Eric over here just tossing some shade.
It's the governor's palace. The three of you are expected to show up in full dress uniform for a short ceremony. It's not indicated what the ceremony is. The last time you were here, Anko, the first time you were here, you were immediately dressed down and gravely insulted, some might say.
Unless it's
McDougal and Aroga do not have. We keep our distances. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely on board with that. There's definitely some frosty looks and stuff.
Your security people are probably clashing, right? Because you have that formal suited security, McDougal, and he's got beefy limo driving gangsters. So your security
I have my
people,
personal bodyguard too.
Yeah,
don't forget about her.
All right,
they're probably all stunting on each other. They're all stepping.
I was gonna say Lachlan's probably been in and out of the governor's palace somewhat recently because he's still trying to do like
you still have to take care of Constance.
Spend time with the heir to the lake fortune.
So when you arrive, you're taken to a private ceremonial chamber where you can see that there's a mounting block for the Oath of Endosteel sword. When it rests here, this is where it rests at. You are each handed an envelope with your name on it, handwritten in beautiful cursive. and Sir Erwin opens his on behalf of the Countess. So
My bodyguard opens mine for me.
Erwin will stop the bodyguard and say, "You must open it yourself."
Ooh,
These were hand delivered from New Avalon, from Earth, actually.
Yeah, Lachlan just gives.
Yeah, my bodyguard shrugs and begins to me.
Lachlan uses this opportunity to just give Jasper a total like, come on, look, just like, total disdain, like totally unnecessary. And as he's like opening it,
Sir Erwin has been inducted into the Order of Davian, which is a lifetime membership for unusual service, exemplary service, and tremendous loyalty to House Davian. Each of your letters are written personally by Melissa Arthur Steiner, thanking you for your wonderful wedding gift. And then they're signed at the bottom by her, and then clearly by a second person. It is signed Hans Adrian Davian. Underneath it, it's got, quotation marks, the Fox. And it's pretty clear that each of them wrote their part of the letter personally. With it comes your rewards. So the Erwin has been inducted in the Order of Davian. Kuro has been posthumously given the Silver Sunburst Medal for sacrifice in the name of the Federated Sons and heroic actions of importance. The rest of you, the three of you, are granted additional lands and estates on the planet. And it seems those lands and estates will be coming out of the Countess's pocket, essentially. But whatever reward she's been given has clearly been enough to placate Erwin, since he doesn't seem to mind. So what this translates to is you all have a permanent +1 asset every year.
hell yeah!
As long as those estates remain intact. And they take the form of, you all now have like a tree farm, essentially, of the local...
Can I vassalize this?
Yes.
Can I give it to Dave? Oh my god, can I give it to Davies?
Yes.
Or Edward? Oh my god. Oh my god, they're getting it.
I mean, doing so
will... I'm a Vavasor now. Oh shit.
I mean, doing that will make him a Baron, essentially.
He's equal rank to me?
He would be if you... Well, yeah, that is a problem. I mean, he's already a noble house. Do you want to make him a knight, then?
Yeah, I would knight him under me, and he would serve me.
You have done so, then. All right. Now.
I mean, I won't do it immediately.
You still get the asset if you do that.
I do it at the end of the year.
No, he gets the asset.
I get fucking undying ass loyalty.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm imagining we all like go immediately to get these things framed to put in our like house records. You know, like we all have like all those like the room full of like, you know, this is the time we got a letter from so and so.
From Hans Adrian Davian and Melissa Arthur Steiner, the night of their wedding, they signed this for you.
Yeah,
in recognition of your wonderful gift.
Yeah, this is going up there.
Right on the refrigerator.
So,
oh my god, Davies gets I'm so excited about Davies getting
there. So one of Davies' kids that's a Mechwarrior will be buying a Battlemech this year and can be available.
I would be giving it
you.
Yeah, I think I would be giving it to his son, to be honest with you.
I'll have to look at your family but I
feel like
him.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty normal though. I don't think I have one for Edward.
We're gonna need to make one.
We'll make one up. Okay, I'll make one up. That's fine. But the idea here is that I think you give it to the son in general. So like they don't do the whole like break off from you immediately, and they're like kind of vulnerable, and so it kind of breeds a sort of like you need me kind of thing. Like that's how feudalism works. I don't know. I follow the
undyingly loyal to you, and you've now reinforced that by making them knights.
But were they not knights before? They're already a house. The house
you can be a noble house without being a knight. They were a minor noble house. Like
then I wouldn't have done. Oh wait, then hold on. Let's talk about this. Can I knight the Arcades?
Yes.
They are not necessarily loyal to me.
Correct.
And now they're loyal.
That will drastically change the storyline.
I also have someone I would like to take this opportunity tonight. Now that we're talking about this.
No, you're not fucking my storyline. Are you knighting Arcadi specifically?
I mean,
He's way too old.
No, I would not.
Fat
I
to
would
be a
not tell him.
Mechwarrior,
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't tell him that I'm doing that. I wouldn't tell him that you're the one being knighted. I would say, give me who is your. I would let him pick the person that I get knighted.
so he's the head of the Aki Herzog.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And he
so,
chooses.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that I want you, but like I would say it in, this is the way of getting around the weirdness of saying I can't pick you because you're old and fat and you can't pilot a mech, but like I'm giving you the honor of for all everything you've done for my house and you've done for this place.
Look, they're a crime family. They're still going to answer to this guy. It's going to be a generational thing.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, I want to win this person over.
Oh my god!
This will be a
What
loss.
he's saying is it
storyline.
takes
Okay.
time.
Yeah, no. But I understand. Yeah, if you want
Look,
to try
man.
to make the new leader of the house, whoever the knight is, that's a pretty good play.
Yeah.
I love that. So
too.
since we're talking about this,
Yep.
Oh my god!
I
You're
had the
Co-opting the end of
vague
the session.
idea. I had a vague idea about wanting to knight Captain Ratasaurus, our jump ship captain who saved our lives.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering like the way to do this. I'm not sure that like he's done enough for it to make sense for Lachlan to like give him his own estate, like in that way, because that would be like a pretty big deal.
I mean, this will gain you the services of a jump ship or a drop ship and his undying loyalty, with no uncertain terms.
Mm-hmm.
He's a longtime ship captain. Obviously, he's an independent in a time where independent captains are hard to come by. He's got a great reputation. He's trustworthy. He's good at salvage operations, all of which are unusual skills.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I like this. I think the land that we earned from the sale of this stuff, especially because without this guy, we would have not been able to do what we just did or get what we just did. I think Lachlan is going to offer it to him as like vassal land and allow him to form his own house under the House of McDougal.
I don't know that I named this guy previously.
As Captain Ratasaurus.
Captain Ratasaurus.
I like the idea of Captain Tyrann for Tyrannosaurus.
Perfect.
I like that a lot.
I don't have a last name yet, but it'll be Captain Tyrann.
Soren.
Captain
You really just
Tyrann.
want to go for that.
You're Soren.
Captain
No, his name is,
Tyrann.
what if his name is Tyr, like Tyr,
Yeah.
and then like Saurus or
Tyrannosaurus?
Soren. Yeah.
Tyrann.
Tyr Sauron. All right.
Or Radstifer.
Well, now it's
Radstifer-saurus.
Sir Sauron.
I love it.
Soren.
So
I'm here for this.
What do
Like
you
Sauren.
require? What do you require from his services? Like he will pledge like his dropship crew is essentially like staying with him, and he is pledging his loyalty to you. So when he goes in a battle, it will not be in a battle mech or an aerospace fighter, but he can use his dropship for you. My understanding is you were going to give him a job as like your Ivory Tower spaceport administrator.
That was I
He's
don't
very
think that
qualified to do that.
Oh, then that's perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking basically like his house would be similar to the Hedbergs in that they take this kind of supporting role.
Yes.
Whereas like we are good at fighting with mechs and running the spaceport, and they're good at fixing the spaceport.
He outranks Leonora now, but yes, he can act as a secondary for you. He will probably find someone to act as like the beginning of an aerospace wing to pledge to your house.
Hell yeah.
AP, I'm not ready to say I should give it to the Herzogs yet. I had to think about it.
We're
I had to
right
talk
at the
about
end
it
of
at
the
House
session.
Davies.
You'll have a
I know,
whole
the end of the
week.
session.
You'll have a whole
Yeah.
week.
I had to talk to the Davies about it. I can't have the Davies feel like they're screwed over, like they've been in waiting, like they're for the next house. You know what I mean?
So the name of your reward,
I don't know,
Kuro,
think about
was
it.
the Silver Sunburst, which is the lowest form of the Sunburst metal. I've included it for you. It's on Sarna. Did you have anyone you wanted to pledge to you, or are you okay with just taking those permanent assets?
Honestly, so I'm not fully decided on it, but I've been considering the options that I have if I were to knight the orphans, like those that trained.
Yes, you can technically do this.
This is the exact same problem that Erwin had would have, like, if you're trying to do it to get around what Erwin was mad about,
Right.
it doesn't work.
It's the same problem.
It's the same problem.
The trick is you want to knight a criminal because once they're a noble, then the criminal part doesn't matter. Because we're all criminals when we're nobles.
Well, and I think that's like the challenge that Anko has is that, I mean, she's lost Vega, and like Kane doesn't. We never really define the Kane family too well. So now that the girlfriend's missing with the child, yeah, like it's just like everything's just piling up where it's like, fuck, everyone's gone. Like, who else can I raise?
I'm saying this as a Pendragon player.
Yeah.
Get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta get married.
Ooh, question. Okay.
And it's easier as a man.
It's the first thing you do
because
in
you can have a
Pendragon.
ton of bastards and then pick your favorite out of all of them.
Look, it's the same thing in Crusader Kings, man. The first thing you do is make sure you have a spouse.
Yeah.
First thing before anything else.
Okay. Well, I'm Uncle is a
Shitty
woman.
and chauvinistic. Yeah.
So,
yes, we know. We know.
So, ooh, wait, do they have like surrogate mothers yet? Like where you can have someone else raise your child so that she doesn't necessarily have to.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That may be the option she goes, just because then that way she can continue being a pilot, and has to like run the family while she's pregnant is gonna be a little bit hard. Being like the sole Baron.
All right. Well,
anyway,
think about if you want to knight somebody, or if you want to keep that. Eric, you make your decision. Sounds like Sam's picked his.
I want to hear what people have to say in your Discord, in the Oath of Endosteel Discord channel.
Take 5 XP points for this episode. This is a big capstoning one. Next week will probably be the last episode of 3028 and the season finale. We'll be doing the ball, and then we'll be doing the Senate session if we can wrap that all up. We'll take a short break for the show, like a 1 week break where we'll get together and we'll talk about any changes we want to make for season 2. We're open applications for guests if you want to come kill these guys or fight alongside them. I know that Soundwave and James and Rad have all indicated interest. Rad's got the overlays ready. Any closing thoughts on this episode?
Closing thoughts. I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead. You get.
I was gonna say, if James is coming to play, he has to be on our team because otherwise he'll kill us all.
When James played on the bad guy team, I had played all of the NPC support forces for the players, and there were like 8 of them, and he killed all of them.
Oh my god!
He barely damaged the players, and he killed everything I had in my hands.
Wow. For any
he murdered me. He murdered me.
I need a husband, and I need a
husband. Fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
And so maybe a noble from another planet. I don't know. Like someone that comes and like Anko becomes, or I need a knight. I need things. Help the Seppuku family, please.
All right. I want to say, in terms of order of guests, I think Soundwave should be near the top, only because Soundwave has already literally like made art in a family tree for his character. Like, come on, if he loves that, like, no offense, I love Rad, I love everybody who wants, I love James. You know, you all are great, but I mean, he already has he photoshopped his own picture of his character already. Like, that's pretty sick, and I want to reward that sort of like dedication. If like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm into that. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily, just include them. Yeah.
I do not, but people already painted our mechs too. Like, God, like, of course, you know. Hey, look, I want to reward if you give back to the place, even if it's Sorry, go ahead, Eddie.
No, I was going to say the exact thing. Like, where thank you all for the amazing fan art and the things that you've done for this show. Like, and for all of our stories that we're telling. Like, you all are amazing. Overlays. Yeah, you all are great.
Yeah, that's all. That's all I'm thinking. That's great, and I slightly think that should go into consideration of order of guests.
Okay.
I love you all.
Sam, any final thoughts?
No, this was a good one.
We have a behemoth. We have a Stuka. We have. I mean, we've got armaments.
You have a Stuka whose pilot will not be coming home for 2 or 3 years.
I'm buying. I already wrote what I'm buying in chat, but this year I bought a sniper. I bought Lucky 1. Now with that extra 5, I raised my int, raised my tactics, I've raised my negotiations, and I bought a heavy hover APC for
Holy
to carry
shit.
2 platoons. I spent 28 experiences this year.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean,
I was gonna go in and buy the whole mercenary thing. I wasn't kidding. I was thinking about running an entire mercenary of a light lance,
I mean,
but
I get it, dude.
I can't afford it based on what you said at the start. So I'm just gonna burn it all on myself. And also, I might be going into the tactics role, which is kind of what I was kind of hedging my bets for. I wasn't sure what your character's going to be, Eddie.
So just as a final update, Jana is trapped on Delacruz, so if you want to go safer, you will need to launch the mission yourself.
We're doing it.
The second thing to note is that because Maya's too young to be taken on a dropship, and there's war, and New Avalon is technically the safest place in the entire universe, she's not coming home until the war's over.
Fuck.
You're going to be apart
I'm
from
not
your
going to
daughter
meta knowledge this.
for 2 or more years. Oh, listen, I'm
not
going to
gonna
send you
meta-knowledge
messages every once in a
But I
while.
know-
Like, I'm
I
so
know-
sorry, I
I
can't come
know.
home until the war is over.
I know about I know about the New Avalon Institute of Science, and I know about the Death Commandos, but I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't know about these things, but
So
that sounds bad.
Oh, don't worry, you will.
My knowledge, I don't let it influence me in that kind of way. You're
Listen,
good, man.
Sam, tell me what you think when you hear the words Death Commandos.
It doesn't sound good.
Doesn't sound
It's
good.
not what you think
good.
it is. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Okay.
They wear little skull caps and ask, "Are we the baddies?"
Yes.
They actually do have
they are
little skull
literally-
pins, I think.
Yeah, they're literally like Lyran stormtroopers.
No, they're Capellian stormtroopers.
Oh, sorry, the worst ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lyran's. I hate both of them, so whatever.
Why do you hate the Lyrians? Okay, that's a discussion for another time. We got to get Sam out of here. Audience, leave comments. Have a good day.